Thank you, Cathaoirleach. Minister, as someone whose family is lucky enough to be in a position to keep their mother in her home while she requires care with the help of some wonderful carers and my sister living with her, the spectre of what we saw on our TV screens a number of weeks ago was truly appalling. Families across the country looked on in horror as evil appeared on our screens. I don't need to rehearse all the condemnations that have been rightly chorused, but seeing the footage was a chilling catalogue of all that is bad about the private sector takeover of the care of the elderly in this country. We have a situation here where the care of the elderly in some, not all, but a considerable number of units is far from being either caring or considerate. Yesterday, I listened to an amazing, articulate and well-informed woman on my local South East radio, Dr. Margaret Kennedy, and she is part of a campaign called Equality, Not Cruelty. Their campaign is focused on the urgent reform of HICWA and ensuring that ill treatment and violations of dignity, respect and care in residential nursing homes never happens again. This amazing 72-year-old woman who lives with a neuromuscular disease succinctly and articulately summed it up for so many in her situation. She said her group spoke for disabled people and older people in their campaign. She said when she saw the images coming from her television screen, it was clear that older people are now being commodified. She said older people were being what she described as warehoused in these places, and that basically money was the root of all the difficulties. And who could disagree? She went on to say that these places are called nursing homes, but nobody should call them homes of any kind, because that is certainly not what they are. She had listened with interest recently to a discussion at an Oireachtas committee where someone from HICWA spoke about a care deficit. And I'd have to agree with her that this is an extraordinary phrase to use when describing criminal offences. To use care deficit as a term when someone has been assaulted or physically abused. That's not care deficit, that's criminal activity. How is it that we can have 198 abuse reports at Benaven Manor in Dublin, 40 reports at the residence of Portlaoise, and it takes the work of an RTE investigative team before we're talking about it here in the Oireachtas? This motion calls for the nationalisation of 27 nursing homes controlled by Amis Ireland. I think that is the least we can do to both send the signal to those sailing close to the wind in the care of the elderly in this country that we are sick to the teeth of profit driving their motives when it comes to looking after some of the most vulnerable in our society. Like every public service that is overrun by the greed of boardrooms, this sector has once again shown that when it comes to the provision of essential services in this country, greed always trumps the good, and the ideology that we've seen over the years absolutely fosters this.